Let's see here. All right, what's good? Now I'm looking at myself. I probably need to shape my beard here. I think I got too much on this side here. All right. Anyway, how are we doing today, folks? So today is 27th February. Man, we're already what? Like 60 days into the year. Okay. They got what they call a Julian date. All right. So this will be, I think, let's see here. 27 to 30, 58. Okay, they will call that in the military 202158 or 2158. Okay, because they base that by the amount of days in the year from day 1 to 365. So if you were to do it by Julian date, this will be 21-58. Man, I remember those days. But anyway, how we doing today, folks? So I want to get right into the this is gonna be my last thoughts on the Texas storms and all that, and this snow that cannot melt. Hope everybody's fine out there and being safe. Shout out to my family and friends out there in Texas. Okay, and hopefully, if you had went through some damage, you didn't go through too much damage there. So yeah, what's up with this snow? I've seen video after video after video about people are having snowballs in their hands and they cannot melt the snow with a match, with a blowtorch. There was one guy that was boiling the stuff and it was trying to boil it and it was coming out starchy. And I'm just thinking, snow is supposed to be made to melt. Why is this happening? Okay. Now I'm going to say this allegedly, okay, that I've done my own research and also I've learned from other podcasters and stuff about, the government does have the ability to modify storms and hurricanes and tornadoes and also snow. I can remember when I was in Dubai, I hadn't had a chance to go there, but I worked over there as a contractor after I got out of the Army. That it was a mall in Dubai. They had the capabilities, and this was 10 years ago, to make snow from a big machine. And it was like a little ski thing in the mall, like a little ski slope. And yes, they do have the money and the ability to do that type of stuff. And I was wondering that was this orchestrated in a way in which this snow was artificially made, okay, and these people are suffering, I guess, to find a reason to, upgrade that grid and all that stuff. But that's my hypothesis, okay? But as we know now, there was 4 million people out of power. About 14 million people are susceptible to being out of power, okay, or going through what they call these blackout rollovers, okay? So I guess when they don't have enough power for everybody, okay, that they'll shut the power off and they'll move it to somewhere else for a little while, and then they'll move it to another area, that type of stuff. So, I've learned more about power, although I had some indirect expertise about it when I was in the Army, okay, because I didn't work with power, I worked with fuel, but I worked alongside with power. Now I believe they're back to 70 degrees now, and now that, okay, along with the power issue is going to be a water issue, because the infrastructure, and that's fair to say that water / sewage infrastructure was not built or made for that type of climate if they were to sustain that type of climate. So they're going to have to do work on that as well. So with the grid and with the water system, that's going to take some time, y'all. And I think what's going to happen is, once they get that to a decent state, you guys, utilities, going to go up tremendously. I could probably see some people leaving Texas as a result. Okay, but you would think a state that big with all the oil and all the natural resources, you would think that they would have enough power, enough water for everybody, right? Not the case, you know, rather than keeping that grid, I guess, in that region, I guess where you have an east and a west grid in the United States and all that, okay, to save money. You would think that things would be more abundant there, and that's not the case. And I made a video about that here a few days ago about what they could have done from my experiences with dealing with power and fuel and all that, okay, to be able to keep the power on. There could have been a better way. Okay, now I'm going to put some Carmex on while I'm doing this here because I'm ashy in the corners of my mouth. It's a little cold here in Las Vegas, ladies and gentlemen. And it's dry air here. All right, that's better. But yeah, so, you know, I want to do these videos to where I want to bring the issue to the forefront, okay? I don't know, explore variables, and then maybe as a conclusion, you know, maybe put out my final thoughts, you know, on what, you know, you can learn or what I can learn, or, and that's what I want to start doing. So that shouldn't take no more than about 2 or 3 videos. I see a lot of content creators are beaten down to the same subject. And what's going to happen is they're going to work their way right up out of YouTube, okay? Because the saying is, for every person that you point your finger at, there's going to be 3 pointing back at you. Now, I don't want to digress. But, guys, there's some items, and you want to look that up on the internet, probably 8 to 10 items that you want to look at about keeping in your house. Okay? Now, that's no matter where you live. But especially like in Texas, when you can experience all 4 seasons in one day, is the central region and the eastern region of that state. You want to consider having, you know, like a generator, iodine tablets, water bottles, plenty water, okay? You probably want to have like those maybe 10 cases, okay? I want to say 500 bottles of water, okay? 5 bottles of water per person per day, okay? You know, probably your little MREs if you can get some. All right, they have those boxed foods and all that, canned goods. Okay, you probably want to have at least about, I don't know, maybe if you can, maybe about a month of that stuff. Okay, because you can't expect to eat gourmet style, and it's not going to happen. But it's about survival. There's been plenty of videos about survival. Okay, because of times like this, and we're also in the pandemic. Okay. Power, water, probably things like, you know, toilet paper, and just invest probably like $100 or whatever, okay, and put it in the stash, you know, dry foods and stuff like that, you know, your beans and rice and all that stuff, okay. That's an example, and this is going to happen in other places, I believe, okay. And on top of this pandemic, we're going to have another one again. I predict another one again. Okay, but really, until that happens, it's all about preparedness. Really, in the end of the day, you are your own source. And really, I mean, look, I know it sounds kind of cold, but the government kind of, I don't know, they'll tell you, you know, that we don't have to, you know, they're not obligated but to a certain extent, yes, that you have to be, you know, obligated to yourself. I mean, I don't want to try to sound brash or anything like that, okay? But it goes to show that they're going to get to it when they get to it. And, you know, it's just I don't want to be harsh, but I do want to be affirmative, and I want to try to be encouraging at the same time, you know? I want to try to show tough love, but I want to show love, okay? But Godspeed to the people out there in Texas that went through this, and you guys will get through it. You guys will be just fine. So that's pretty much my final thought on that, and that snow that can't melt. All right, do your own research, all right, on weather modifications. Okay, and I'm just saying that stuff allegedly, okay, on what they allegedly can do. And always stay prepared and vigilant. And I can even say that for myself, because I have some. I'm prepared, but I have some things I have to work on as far as in preparedness. I could be better prepared. So if you like this video, feel free to subscribe and leave your comments and tell me what you think and all that. And stay tuned for the next video, because I'm gonna have some things to talk about. And always keep your head. Always stay on top and keep your head, a swiveling head. And thank you for listening once again, ladies and gentlemen.